We've seen these horrific images of the life in Gaza after the IDF pulled back, including summary executions by Hamas of some of their rivals. But it reminds of this other dilemma here when we talk about disarming Hamas. Will they take all arms? They have these other militia that they've got to try and push, or they believe they will try and push back against.
Yep.
So there are those internal rivalries and conflicts that sadly for the people of Palestine will continue.
Yeah. Nobody's defined disarm so far, at least not that I've seen in any detail. You're right, disarm in the sense of handing over every last AK-47 to some, neutral recipient. That's not going to happen, and I don't think anyone... who's going to take them? Who's going to go in and collect the arms that Hamas hands over? There's going to be some weeks before the next phases of the plan can actually get underway. That's where you have a security force made up of mostly countries from within the region, Arab and majority Muslim countries. You have a technocratic Palestinian civilian authority to take over in Gaza. Until that happens, unless you want a complete power vacuum, Hamas are going to hold on to their weapons. I think the definition of disarm needs to be that Hamas does not attack Israeli forces, and it does not provoke conflict from, against anyone else.
Because you think to those factionalised tribal communities where they are still tribe-based and clan-based in many respects, that they've always fought as well within the Gaza Strip.
So this is going to happen, and this is one, this is one example of things going sideways as they are going to do. Hamas has been in charge of Gaza since 2007. So, they are the only authority that really is, it's not recognised, but it is established and entrenched. And terrible though it is for the people of Palestine, for the people of Gaza and for the Israelis, I think some acceptance of Hamas presence, at least for the next few weeks, until they can be phased out. But what we need, that's simply a reality, but what we need is pressure on Hamas via other powers in the region to ensure that Hamas, when the time comes, hands over control to Palestinian civilians and regional security forces.
The Trump speech to the Israeli parliament was quite something extraordinary, but there was something that, among the many points that he made that really stood out to me, is the fact that he's now shifting already his focus to Russia. And he said to Steve Witkoff and Kushner, his son-in-law, I want you to get that sorted next. But that in some ways even more problematic. How do you get Putin over the line?
Totally. Unfortunately, it's not a very comparable situation. You can't pressure Putin in the way that you have been able to pressure, Hamas via the region and Benjamin Netanyahu. Reportedly, Trump is meeting with Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. My hope is that he agrees to hand over Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine, and as well as additional air defences that Ukraine needs in order to strike further, to defend itself and strike further into Russia against energy and military facilities. What we need now is pressure on Putin over the course of the coming weeks before Trump, Putin, Zelensky eventually, hopefully meet. We drag Putin to the negotiating table under a situation of pressure where he is forced to make concessions. That's the way forward. But I think the most we can hope for on Friday is Tomahawks and air defences. That will help Ukraine put Russia under pressure. Sanctions on Russia from the US would also be fantastic. The Europeans are working on that. Let's hope that Trump agrees to that as well.
We will speak to you soon again, David Wroe, a Senior Resident Fellow at ASPI. And obviously next time we can go through all of the ins and outs of the Trump-Albanese meeting, which is looming only a few days away. David, thank you.
I can hardly wait. Thanks.
Thank you as always.